Welcome all to Off the Cuff with Namrita, and I'm here with Deepak Ramola, an educator, writer, blogger, seeker, activist. वो काफ़ी चीज़ें करते हैं, and I think he's a seeker in the end. Since the age of 17, Deepak's heuristic methodology of designing life lessons into innovation modules has not only shaped his organization Project Fuel but also benefited thousands of people across the globe. And there's much more to him, but I'll start with Project Fuel, your organization, and you've touched thousands of people around the globe actually with that. So would you like to tell us a little bit about the organization?
Sure. So the Project Fuel, the fuel in Project Fuel stands for Forward the Understanding of Every Life Lesson. And the mission is very simple. It is to collect the life lessons of people, everyday people from around the world, so that we can learn from each other's experiences. So that's what we've been doing for the last many years, documenting wisdom of common people and passing it on.
Oh wow. And when did you start this project? Then why did you do it? The main question, what led you to this?
My mother was a huge inspiration. She didn't get to complete school, but knew so much that I thought, well, there are things you're learning in life beyond school. So what does my mother know, and what do other people like my mother know from just living life? And so I started this work and started on the journey.
Okay. And how many countries or where all have you traveled for collecting this wisdom?
So I personally have traveled to more than 40 countries, but we have life lessons from all the 195 countries thanks to the volunteers and researchers that work with us.
Okay. So you're talking about, it's a collection of wisdom. So to collect wisdom, I'm thinking you have to ask the right questions. And I do have these books, and that's why he wrote this, I guess. I think it's available on Amazon.
Yes.
मैंने तो यहाँ से साला last year ली थी. Please look into his books on Amazon. So how do you work your mind around what to ask and why?
I think when you think about questions, it's very important to know what is the right wording for that question that will get the other person to respond. I think if you are just curious about things that you genuinely feel inquisitive about, there are chances that other people would like to know, and the more simpler you keep it, the more invested you are, the less small talk you will do, and the more deeper you will go into knowing somebody better. So I would say we live in a world our questions create, as the famous saying goes. But to ask the right question, you have to care. And to care, you have to know that every human being has value. And when you know that, you will automatically ask meaningful questions.
I think, rightly said, you have to care. That is, I think, a very important. Definitely, it touches me somewhere. And you talked that you have volunteers all around the globe, and so what have you learned about society and humanity through your work?
That's a great question on the subject of questions. I think there are 1,000 ways to be alive is one of my most favorite life lessons by this photographer named Lisa Christine. That there are 1,000 ways to be alive. And I think the problem starts when you think your way should be the only way. When you understand and accept that as many people are there in the world, there are as many ways to survive and thrive and cope and understand, you start developing an appreciation for others. जब अपने अंदर ये समझ आती है कि जो मेरा तरीका है जीवन जीने का, that's not a formula. It's only an optional, suggestive route to doing things. Then you can do so much more. So I think that's one thing that I have learned. The second thing that I have learned is everyone in life is looking for just the same things as you. And the baseline of it is they want to live a good life. Now, that might look very different.
Good again is subjective.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that might look very different for you, but might look different for me. But if you really go behind to the last why of that, you'll find out that they think that getting that done is their way to live a good life. So if you can help people understand, is their good really good? Is it an individual good? Is it a collective good? Is it not only a collective good but an environmental good, right? Ecology, everything. So you can do so much more. So those two things I would say.
And I think to understand about collective good, I don't know, maybe I feel, you need to have more exposure to different cultures. Do you think it's true? Because see, हम तो छोटे से शहरों से आए थे. I come from like Shimla, a small town. When I came to America, it took a while, and then then traveling here and there. Traveling does open your perspective, makes it wider. But I think you still need to be ready for all this. So do you think that people who are living in a small village will be able to see a bigger collective, community-wise, think about environment, think about organic food, think about such issues which, we are at Stanford, one of the best universities in the world, attending Sala. We have the elite people coming here, talking about and, listening to. So, but मुझे यही लगता है कि, I think I'd get a better answer from you because you've seen it all.
I think those are the people who don't need to know about organic food because
they
already live in
very true.
My nani does not need to know about ecology.
Just that,
But I think it is so ingrained in their system that we have overcomplicated and over-intellectualized it, right? When I work in the community, I think when I go and work in the communities, I realize that their knowledge and wisdom has not been respected. We have a lot of science and we have very little of lived experiences of people, and I think when we start to balance them, to your earlier point, yes, what you need is perspective, and I think if you are a scientist, you need the perspective of a grassroots person. If you are a person in a community, you need a perspective of a scientist, so that they can say, hey, yes, you believe this, we use science to prove this, and this is true. And I think it's the marriage of those two perspectives that helps us become more wiser and do the collective good that we are seeking.
It has to, okay, so you're saying blend it together, and that's where you get a wholesome, I guess, solution to it. And I know I attended your session today, and thoda late time hai, but you were talking about your visit to Tanzania and two boys who are so far removed from their problems went with you and almost changed the entire way they were going about their lives. So any example or anything that that you've learned, I'm sure you've learned a lot from such experiences.
Be open to learning from anywhere and really think about your privilege. If your privilege is not allowing you to do something, then that privilege is literally a pain. Because if it only serves you, then it serves very little. And any good privilege in the world serves a lot more people. I often say, shine so bright that your light becomes someone else's spotlight. And if that's not a good lens to look at it, I don't know what is. Which is, if it is only for me, it's little. But if it is for me and others, then it's abundant. And I hope that sense of abundance, which the two boys you referred to, but all the other people too who I have benefited from, who've shared their wisdom and their knowledge, have made me feel.
Very true. And you don't have to do it on a bigger level. Like we can see, you talked about your mother who didn't go to school, but she gave you, that a curious mind. So, she's right there at home, but she's given you the tools to, go about. And coming to your book, मैं इसी में से एक पन्ना खोलूंगी और I'm going to ask him his own question because I have been, reading it now and then, and you can just open a page and it's so interesting, and just, check a question and think about your, what you think about it. So, जो भी आएगा, I don't know. Oh, okay. Where does your inspiration find its roots? No.
In music.
Oh.
A lot in folk music.
Okay.
I love listening to folk music, Indian folk music, चाहे वो कश्मीरी लोकगीत हों, चाहे वो पहाड़ी लोकगीत हों, गढ़वाली लोकगीत हों. I think फोक सॉन्ग्स में जो असली लोगों का दुख है, जो उनकी असली कहानी है, और खासकर महिलाओं की, क्योंकि लोकगीत जनरली वर sung by women, and so they are so potent with so much wisdom and so playful, and sometimes so painful also, but they document a history that you will not find in textbooks. That's oral history that is passed on only through songs. So a lot of my inspiration is in songs.
Yeah, and you're a lyricist too.
Yes.
You've written for some films also.
Yes.
कौन सी है वो?
I have written for many films. One of my most popular songs is called Atrangi Yari from the movie Wazir. That's been sung by Mr. Bachchan and Farhan Akhtar.
Yes, lovely wordings, and yeah. So wishing you the best.
Thank
and you know, you are an inspiration. Hope people got what they wanted from this conversation. And what's next for you? And then
I'm trying to write more books.
Okay.
Trying to create a lot more tools and resources for people to understand their lives.
Okay.
So and Project Fuel continues to grow in that part. So doing more of that.
And obviously it's on you have a website for that. Where can people go and find you?
Yeah, it's called Project PROJECTFUEL.IN, projectfuel.in. So.
And I think you were on Instagram and everywhere under Deepak Ramola also?
Yes, just Deepak Ramola. Yeah.
Yeah, so do follow him. Check out more of his work. Thank you all for joining. Thank you, Deepak.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Lovely to talk to you. Thank you.
Awesome. Wow, you've become a pro.